welcome to The Sky's the Limit, and today we have brought you to the beautiful surroundings here of St. Joseph's Cathedral in Rawalpindi, and here we have the very great honor to introduce you to His Excellency Archbishop Joseph Arshad, who is the Archbishop of Islamabad and Rawalpindi. Thank you so much, Excellency, for joining us on our program today.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to be with you all.
Right, so here we are in these beautiful surroundings. This is Rawalpindi, St. Joseph's Cathedral, where this is the first time I'm seeing it, and it's such a historical place, and it's got such a lovely ambience and a very peaceful environment over here. Can you please tell us a little bit about this place right here where we're at, and then we'll continue from there. What are the activities that go on over here, and what is your role exactly?
Well, I am the Archbishop of Islamabad, Rawalpindi, and as an Archbishop, I cover the area of whole KPK province and half of Punjab. This means from Peshawar to Gujarat, and then Sargodha, Khusha, Mianwali, and all different cities are coming under my jurisdiction as Archbishop of Islamabad, Rawalpindi.
Okay, right. So to get a general idea, can you tell us a little bit about the Catholic community in Pakistan? What is the strength? How many Catholics do we have in Pakistan, and how many archdioceses are there? How does the Catholic Church work in Pakistan exactly?
Well, we have 7 units in the terminology of the church. These are called dioceses. We have 2 archdioceses and 5 dioceses.
Right.
This means we have 7 bishops in Pakistan.
Right.
And these 7 bishops, they form a conference. So it is called Pakistan Catholic Bishops Conference. So the head is the president. We have a president of the conference and the secretary general of the conference. So that's the conference runs together to see pastoral life or pastoral care of our Christian community throughout Pakistan.
Right, okay. So there is a relatively large Catholic community in Pakistan, and we see them everywhere. We see your beautiful churches all over the country. As for yourself, can you please tell us exactly, as the Archbishop of Islamabad and Rawalpindi, what are your day-to-day sort of duties, obligations? Do you meet with your community? You have a very large area over which you have to oversee, like you just mentioned. So what is it like, say, a day in your life?
Well, our life is very busy, as I already explained you, that I cover the whole KP province and plus half of Punjab. So you know our work, especially in 3 fields, education, and then health sector, and our service is also in the social sector. Beside the spiritual care of our Christian community. So these are the 3 major sectors in which we are serving our Pakistani society.
Right. Do you also conduct, say, mass and confessions and things like that?
Yeah, well, that is the spiritual side. You see, we have a network of about 23 parishes in this area, which is under my jurisdiction. And these parishes are under one priest who are assisting me in my duties. Okay. Yeah. So whenever there are functions, they continue throughout the year. They keep on inviting me to their parishes to meet the community, to conduct different programs and the spiritual events in their respective parishes or areas.
Right, okay. So you're obviously a very busy person. Let's begin now with your journey as becoming a member of the Catholic Church, and then the stage which you've reached right now as an Archbishop. It's a very long process, and you've had a very sort of a long and robust career as well, I must say. I mean, you've studied in Rome, and you've been part of the diplomacy of the Vatican Church, and also, can you please tell us a bit about your journey? How did you decide that you wanted to become a man of the cloth and serve the church, the Catholic Church, to begin with?
Well, to become a Catholic priest, we have to go through a formation of about 11 years.
Okay.
So we say it's a special life because you are celibate. You live a celibate life, you don't get married, and that's why we say it's a call from God. All right, it can be a formation from the family, but we say it is God who calls you to commit yourself for such a kind of priestly ministry or service for the people. So a Catholic priest goes through a long period of formation, and originally I am from Lahore, so I entered into the seminary, it is called, where the formation is done for the Catholic priest. So I joined the seminary in 1981. I had a 4 years basic formation in Lahore, and then we have a seminary in Karachi, Christ the King Seminary. There I had a training of 2 years of philosophy and 4 years of theology. And then in 1991, I was ordained a Catholic priest in Lahore, and my first assignment as a priest was in St. Joseph's Church in Gujranwala.
Okay.
I spent a period of 3 years in service as a priest in Gujranwala, and then suddenly my bishop told me that we have decided to send you for the study in Rome.
Right. How do you get selected to go and study in Rome? This seems like something that's very special for a person in the church to actually go to Rome and study over there. What was the selection like?
Well, all the priests serving in a diocese, they are under the jurisdiction of a bishop. So bishop decides to whom to send. If they think somebody is capable, and they select according to his study background, the capability he has, and how he can better serve in future. So the bishop is the sole authority to decide to whom to send for studies. So well, I was lucky in that sense. I was selected to go to Rome. Every Catholic has that desire to go to Rome and Vatican and visit these holy places over there. So,
and then to study there,
yeah.
how did that feel for you? Because you were before that throughout in Pakistan. So to suddenly be in the Vatican and in Rome, how was your experience? How did you feel when you went there?
Yeah, it was a great experience. Initially there were difficulties, cultural difficulties, you see, the food is difficult, but later once you get used to
Italian food.
Yeah, you enjoy your study. I spent 2 years of studies. I was supposed to come back, but then suddenly the message came that you are selected for diplomacy. So I further studied for 2 years. So I did my doctorate in canon law. These are the laws of the church.
Right.
And then 2 years of diplomatic formation I had. So then in 1999, I finished my study from Rome, and I began as a diplomat of the Holy See, the Vatican, assigned in Malta first.
Right, okay. Before we get into your diplomatic service, you also did a degree in journalism prior to this. So what was that about? Did you utilize that in your career?
Yes, naturally I did my graduation in journalism from Punjab University. Then when I was here, I was used to read a lot, write different articles, and in that way I made use of my studies
Right, okay.
that period. And naturally it helped me till now.
Right.
So, yeah, so
To communicate
basically,
to the public
yes.
different ideas. That's wonderful. So did you, while studying in Rome and in your diplomatic service, did you learn Italian, or do you have to learn Latin or any of those languages?
We have to go through different languages. We have to have the basic knowledge of Latin. So I did that. Then I had to learn Italian. I did that. Then in the diplomacy, you have to learn more language. languages, so I learned French.
Okay, amazing. And then, okay, so you started in Malta, and then after that, where did you go?
Malta, from Malta I went to Sri Lanka, then to Bangladesh, and then to Madagascar, and then Bosnia Herzegovina was my last posting.
Okay.
Yeah. So in 2013, Pope Francis appointed me as a bishop in Pakistan.
So prior to this, in your diplomatic service, you were actually sort of like an ambassador for the Vatican Church. You were a diplomat for the Vatican Church, going to all these countries. So that was basically as a role of an ambassador. Mhm. And then now, after that, then you were appointed as a bishop here in Pakistan.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
So it was a great experience to serve in the diplomacy of the Holy See, because you see the different cultures, you begin to understand the politics of a country, and then you also see the life of people and the life of the church, Christian community over there in a country. So it was a very enriching experience for me.
So let me ask you this, the life of the Catholic Christian community in the places where you've served. You've said Bangladesh, Malta, Bosnia, etc. Compared to what you see the life of the community here in Pakistan, how are they similar and how are they different? And what are the challenges, say, that maybe they face in different parts of these communities?
Well, it depends. These are the different countries I have served, but the life culturally, politically, and the life in the church is completely different, because every country is a different culture, no? Like in Madagascar, the simple people. Earlier I had a concept that where there is a poverty, there is more killing or evils. But in Madagascar I found the people are very calm, respectful to each other, and they had a respect for life. So there I understood, no, the poverty is not only the cause of evil doings or killing each other or hatred.
Right.
But there are other things they matter. So see,
Such as?
yeah.
There are other things that matter, such as what do you think the community in Madagascar, where you found they're very peace-loving and they had that value for human life, what were the elements that mattered over there that caused them to be that way? Was it their strong faith?
It was a strong faith also, but I think the cultural backgrounds, they also depends very much. How in the culture the values are penetrated. So if somebody has a respect for life, this means somebody has taught them. Maybe their culture, their forefathers, or in the society.
It's a tradition,
So
basically.
yeah.
Right. And would that be an element of their education as well, their schooling?
Well, education contributes a lot, but still it is a developing country, so still they are getting education.
So there still
So-
must be a large amount of illiteracy there.
Yeah, sure,
Right.
sure.
Right. And how about the other places? The communities there, how did you find them to be in comparison to here in Pakistan?
In Pakistan, we have different challenges. We need to more grow in understanding each other, respecting each other, and helping each other. These values which the religions they have, they are to be more penetrated in our culture and society.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's something I wanted to ask you about what is taught in the convents here. I find a great deal of compassion coming out of the people who have been educated here in convents. For example, my husband and I, we were in Dunga Gali, and there was a huge hailstorm. And we were both being pelted with hail. And these two boys who were there with a Christian group, a Catholic group, I'm pretty sure it was, they had umbrellas. And they just gave them to us, and they ran off and they stood under a tree at the end of the mountain. We didn't even ask them. And that was such a huge, kind gesture which you can never forget. And I see such gestures all over Pakistan, I mean, but this really touched me. So there must be something right that you're teaching these young people.
Well, in the Catholic schools, we we do not only stress the academic side, because see, academic is needed for intelligence, for the knowledge, but beside this, the human beings are very important.
Yes.
So this formation, human formation, is very important for us.
Right.
So in our schools, we try to give the human values and to teach the children how to respect each other, uh, to help each other. So these values are also taught in our schools. So that's why along with the academic education, we try to give the human education, respect for each
Right,
other.
because a lot of my friends and colleagues and all, and also our parents' generation went through a lot of convents, because at that time a lot of the large institutions and colleges and the prestigious ones were run by Christian fathers or Catholic priests, and they all tell me that there was a huge emphasis on character development, and there were character building lessons. How much emphasis is given on this character building, to say respect another person, or not to throw litter, or to respect the environment and trees and things like that, which is really very important in an education?
You see, the Catholic Church on the whole does not only give a religious education. We stress all the aspects which are needed for human society. So that's why the Catholic Church in the whole world speaks on different issues. Especially the Vatican or the Holy See is called a moral authority in the world, because they speak on moral issues also in the world. So in our school is very much important and stressed that the human formation be given and taken care of children, because we have to form the future of our societies and nations.
Absolutely.
So that's why.
And when you talk about this human formation and the character building, it's not very different from one religion to another. It's very much the same. I mean, the Bible teaches the same values as the Quran and the Torah. They're all teaching the same, all religions basically. You can name a whole long list of them. They're teaching how to be essentially good human beings, right? And so that which you're saying, the character building, is the essence of religion, which is what you're teaching to the children in your convents.
That's right.
Pretty much,
Yes.
right? Right, so that's very interesting. I will speak more in detail with you about this topic of the similarity between religions and how to build more interfaith harmony in Pakistan. But first I'd like to continue with your journey, because becoming now to the stage of an archbishop and entering the Catholic Church, was your family supportive of that? How did you make that decision? Because a lot of sacrifices are required for that.
Yeah, sure.
Or did they say, no, become a doctor and an engineer or something like that? How did you decide to become, devote your entire life to God?
Well, I belong to Lahore, and we are from cantonment Lahore, and there is a church, St. Joseph Church. So we were living in church premises, and there the early in the morning the church bell was ringing, used to ring, and my father, when the bell was there, already will say, get up, it's time for the church. So we were living in that kind of atmosphere where we are going for the prayers regularly. There was a Catholic school, we are going to that school. We are helping as a child in different programs of the church. So that atmosphere made me to think, when I was seeing the missionaries, foreigner missionaries who have served earlier in Pakistan, their dedication and commitment for the care of people, not only for the Christian but as well as for other people from the Muslim community or whatever, needy people came to them. So I saw their life, how they were working with dedication, taking care of people, and they were guiding the Christian community as well spiritually. So this made me as a school child think that I should become like them also.
Right.
So when I was ninth class, so I began to think of becoming a priest. Well, my father was strongly in favor. Okay, go ahead
Really?
with
Okay,
that.
that's good.
But my mother was a bit half-hearted, always saying, "No, whenever you feel you can come back."
Right.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of sacrifices involved. Then basically your whole life is devoted to God and serving the community.
Yes, but you see, first you can be interested to become a priest. I was interested to become a priest, seeing just their life, but I never understood what really this life meant. So during the formation of 11 years, you begin to also think whether this life is really for you or not. So over the years, I stood whether I have to undertake this life or not.
So
So
you
that
have a choice over the years
yes,
even to choose
yeah, during the
whether you want to
formation
stay
also,
okay
yes,
during the formation. That's
yeah,
11 years.
yes,
Right. Okay. That's quite a large margin. So it's not like, you have plenty of time to really be sure that this
yeah,
is what you want to do
yeah.
and you've never looked back.
No,
Right.
because once I commit for something, I want to remain committed to that. These should be the principles of life. So once I have dedicated my life for God and the people, I should continue, and I feel happy when I can do something good for all people in the society.
Right. Okay. So also now another great honor that you were bestowed on 10th November 2016. You were given the National Human Rights Award from President Mamnoon Hussain. Can you tell us the basis for receiving this award? Can you tell us a bit about your human rights work in Pakistan?
Oh, well, we have been working since the beginning. The Catholic Church is working for human rights, the issues of justice and peace. So when I became bishop, bishop has to choose a motto of his life. So when I became bishop, I chose my motto as peace and hope, eh? Because I felt that the people need peace and people need hope. So
Absolutely.
since the beginning of my episcopacy in Pakistan, I started working on these two values. That we have to build peace, we have to make people peaceful, and those who are disappointed, they don't have hope, we have to give hope to those people. So we are working with the poor people, we are trying to help those people who are suffering in somehow or the other in different ways in the society. And then as I told you that we have a bishops conference, so every bishop has different commissions as a responsibility. So I was made chairman of National Justice and Peace Commission. So on that platform, we have been also continually working for the issues of justice and peace in Pakistani society.
Right.
So our work is very large on national level to highlight this issue and to help those people who are really victims of injustice.
Okay, so yeah, because nothing, I mean, peace is a fundamental state that's required for anything to flourish. And without peace, our country can't go anywhere. No country or a nation can get anywhere.
Naturally, I personally believe that an individual should be peaceful first. If an individual is not peaceful, how can a society or nation can be peaceful? Because it is formed of individuals. So if, like for example, in a family, if one person is not peaceful, he destroys the peace of the whole family.
That's very true.
See, if you we work on very basic level, no, we are among the people, so we see the lot of problems of different families and people, and many times these are caused because an individual of the family is not doing a right thing. Like if some individual in a family begins to take drugs, one becomes alcoholic, so the whole family is disturbed with that. He will steal the things of family to buy the drugs, and the whole family is with pain and they suffer a lot.
Right.
So a person, if he's having always angry attitude in the family, so that makes the whole family disturbed. No other people will be disturbed by his attitude.
Right.
So if the individual is calm, peaceful, then he will create a peaceful atmosphere.
So let me ask you this, how do you work on such individuals to bring them to a point of peace? That's a huge project. It's a very difficult undertaking.
Well, when I came to Islamabad, I started bringing the youth in every area. So with the youth, I have been talking on these issues, that how to we have to behave, have a good behaviors, good moral personality also, having good attitudes, polite language, to control on our temperaments. So we arrange different activities also, sports activities also,
Right.
so that the youth begins to learn how to behave with each other.
And also a place to sort of speak about their frustrations, I suppose.
Yeah, surely. In our the church system, the people can come to us anytime for their problems or advices, no? And in the Catholic Church, it exists the confession. eh? So through confession, according to our teaching, through priests who is leading the sacrament of confession, one can come and ask pardon for his sins before God, but through a priest. Priest becomes a means for the confessional seal, and that's give a lot of release to any person who feels that he is guilty, he has committed some sins. So in the name of God, the priest representing or being a servant of God, he advises him or her on whatever the sins one commits and is asking for the pardon.
So it kind of lightens their burden.
Yeah.
However, then the whole burden is transferred to you, and you're carrying everybody's burdens. How do you manage to carry so many people's burdens who are coming to confession and telling you all these things?
We give an opportunity for the confession those who wish to do. So it is a part of our activities throughout the year.
But in your opinion, the youth in Pakistan, this is a very important subject because they're making our future and we have such a huge youth population here. What do you feel are the main challenges that they face, and how do you think we can overcome those?
Well, the youth is backbone of our society, and in Pakistan we have about 60 to 70% of youth, and which is very important sector of our society. And that's why it is important to highlight the youth and their problems or the challenges they are facing. Well, in our Pakistan Catholic Bishops Conference, understanding the importance of the youth, we declared this year as a year of youth, where the youth can speak to us, bring them their problems, the challenges they are facing. So unfortunately, this year of the youth is affected with the coronavirus.
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, but still many activities have been organized for the youth, and I personally continue to meet the youth in every area, listening to their problems, challenges they are facing. So whatever resources we have, we try to help the youth to overcome their problems and challenges.
And what more do you feel as a society, because a lot of your focus is on the youth, as a society, how can we improve the state of mind of the youth right now? Because we're seeing a lot of, like you're talking about conflict, you see that a lot in Pakistan. You also see a lot of despondency, you see a lot of people in a sort of a depressed state in the youth. So how do we lift them out of that?
Well, we have to understand the challenges and problem of the youth in Pakistani context. First of all, the population of Pakistan is very high. So unemployment is very high in Pakistan, and the youth, they have no work also. So if one doesn't have work, so they are frustrated.
That is a
So
main
they
problem.
are falling into evil. They are going drug addicts. They are becoming. They are going to other ways, following other ways. So I think we need to help them to have a employment according to their qualifications. Moreover, we have to equip our youth with the moral values. This is very important. And the values which we have to carry as human beings, as a society, as a nation. These should be penetrated in the life of the youth. And moreover, they need encouragement, they need guidance. So there is no guidance. When I meet our youth, Christian youth, they will say there is no guidance for us. We need the career counseling. We need more facilities. So like this, like for the you do not have the playgrounds even, no?
Yes.
So where the frustration be released, no? So if they don't have entertainment, so they will be more frustrated. If we have different facility for entertainment for the youth, I think they will be formed in a better way. Moreover, as a youth, we have to respect each other. We have to respect other religions and work together to change the mode of our people and nation, accepting each other and looking for good for everybody, common good for everybody in the society.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you this: in the Catholic Church and in your role, what is the role of women exactly? Because when I've visited some of your churches, I've seen that the women are very much involved in the choirs, and they sing, and they're very much a part of the activities that happen in the church, which is a nice thing. What is exactly the role of women here?
Well, you see, we are called clerics. The bishops, the priests, we are clerics. So in the church, there is always a voice that lay people who are not clerics, they should be given more participation in the church. So in laity, where there are men, children, there is also women. So in that sense, the women has a part in the church to play. Like there are choirs in singing, they can take part. In other activities of the church, they can take part.
Community activities?
Yeah, they can take part also. And now the present Pope is also stressing more of the role of women in a place where there is a leading role, for the women. An office in the church that leads. So
in which capacity, for example?
any capacity where it is possible. So the women should be given more role in the offices.
Okay.
Yeah. So the Holy Father, the Pope, has done in the Vatican, and he is asking the whole church in the world to give more role to the women in the church, especially in the offices.
Okay, great. And in your role, as now in a way, it's a very huge leadership role in your community as Archbishop of Islamabad, Rawalpindi, with all these cities under you. So the amount of time that you will be in this role, what changes would you like to see? What improvements would you like to bring about?
Well, I am focusing on three elements at present. First one is youth, because I feel the youth is very important. Second is the promotion of interfaith harmony. And third is family life. These things are very important at present for me, because the youth is facing different challenges, and they are the future of our nation. So I'm very much giving time to youth. And second, in Pakistan, we need to promote interfaith harmony. In the context of Pakistan is such that we need to more grow living together, although we have different religions, but we have to learn more to live together and do things which can be good for the whole society.
Excellency, I was asking you that to promote better family life, because we are seeing a lot of breakdown of families in Pakistan now as well, all over the world actually, and the family is sort of the root of the community. So what you were saying that this is one of your priorities, to improve family life. How do you plan to do that? What would you like to promote in that?
Well, the family is very important in the society, and as you yourself mentioned, there are many family issues nowadays. The couples, they are breaking up. So we have to strengthen the family life.
Okay.
Naturally. All we have to play a role in strengthening the family life in Pakistan. So what we are thinking, those young people who are to marry, to give them a marriage preparation courses.
Okay, that's interesting.
So before the marriage, they get know what marriage is.
Because right now they're
Yeah.
just getting it from dramas or Bollywood movies
Yeah.
that marriage is all about singing songs and living happily ever after. So that's not the reality. So that's very interesting. Marriage preparation courses.
For the youth.
What does that teach them? What is that going to actually tell them?
In Catholic Church, this is not a contract. Marriage is not a contract. That's why in the Catholic Church, there is no concept of divorce. So for us, it's a sacrament. It's a seal from God when there is a marriage. So we will give them the teaching it, on these lines. That is a sacrament. So we have to remain faithful to each other till end. So the whole teaching will take place with the youth. So
But then there are all these-
they better understand what marriage is.
Excellency, now when you talk about marriage in Pakistan, the marriages tend to take place at a very early age compared to the rest of the world. People, in other countries will get married in their 30s, after they've had some career, after their education is completed, when they sort of know themselves better. In Pakistan, they're very, very young people getting married for the most part. So preparing them for marriage, because they have really no clue what's coming up ahead. So just the struggles that they're going to face, etc., that it's not always a bed of roses. And in the Catholic faith, it's for life, like you're saying, it should be in any faith, but that is something that there's no concept of divorce in your faith. So how do you actually impart to them what realities to expect going forward?
Well, the reality is different. It depends on the areas. Like cities, the young people, they happily come for the marriage preparation, whereas the concept of preparation in a remote area is difficult, where there is a marriage for younger ages, no? But here, where the people are educated, it's more easier to bring them together for the marriage preparation. So naturally, our culture is such that still we cannot bring them together as a couple to prepare them. So for the boys separate or the girls separate marriage preparations we will do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So naturally, then the importance of marriage, the values of marriage, and because for us,
And what about the challenges that they're going to have to face, like finances in the real world, dealing with relatives, etc., all the different
naturally
things
these will be discussed with them, because these become later on issues in the family, and many are broken because of this.
Exactly.
So earlier the people, they were accepting, whether it was painful, whether it was financial matters, but now the people thinking is different. For small things there's begin fights, and for small things many marriages are broken down. So these values and concepts, we have to discuss them,
Right.
so that they understand really the importance and value of marriage.
Right, that's very interesting, because that's a very essential thing, because oftentimes to young people going into marriage, their expectations are very different from what happens in the real world. Naturally, life has so many complications involved. That's very interesting. Now the most important topic, I would think, in our discussion is what we're seeing in Pakistan a lot of times is we're seeing a lot of intolerance, religious intolerance. Whereas, as we discussed earlier, all the religions have so much in common. We are more alike than we are different. And we share prophets, we share beliefs, we share values, everything. So, Excellency, can you please tell us, in your opinion, how do you think we can impart more harmony between all the religions in Pakistan so people can live peacefully with each other?
Well, see, I also grew among our Muslim brothers and sisters. See, earlier there were not such problems of intolerance. Still, after 30 years, I am meeting my Muslim friend now. He came to know that I am here, so he called me, and then he came to visit me. Now tonight only he has invited me to his family for a dinner. So see, the thing, it depends that we need to have more interaction, to meet each other more. Many people without understanding other religions, they talk about other religions. It's very important that we come to know first of all other religions of each other. We must come to know each other. After all, we are created by one Allah, one God. We are all human beings. He is creator. We all believe in this. So if there is creator is one, so what is the matter or the problem between us then? Our creator is one. So that's why it's very important that we understand and know each other, and then to have respect for each other. You see, if two human beings, they meet, if they know each other, they will more grow in friendship. If they do not know each other, they won't grow in friendship and respect for each other.
Right.
So I am happy that there in Pakistan now there is a more promotion of interfaith dialogue in Pakistan, and you see the many people are meeting each other. We go to the mosque, the Maulanas, they are coming to us to visit us. We have many programs in common, so the situation is changing now, but it has to go more on grassroots levels. The problems, they do exist more on grassroots levels.
Right. So do you encourage attending each other's, say, religious festivals, Christmas or Eid and Holi, for example? We have so many different religions in this country. Do you encourage that, interacting with each other at that level in festivals and gatherings and things like that? So we can understand.
We should have more. As we say that the creator is one, so we are created by one God. So as a human family, we are to share the joys and sorrows of each other. So we should participate in the religious festival of each other, because it's time of our joy for one religion, but we share the joy of each other as human beings. You see, we invite the Muslim brothers and sisters, we give a iftari to them when there is a Christmas. We invite the Maulanas and other religious leaders to come and celebrate with us. So they happily come and join us. So this spirit should more grow in Pakistan. It is already a lot of interfaith promotion programs are held, but it should go more further, and further it should go to the grassroots level, because there the more problems come. When the common people will respect each other, accept each other, there will be more harmony in the society.
Absolutely, right. Thank you so much, Your Excellency Archbishop Joseph Arshad, for joining us on this program today. It was really a wonderful experience. We've learned so much from you. We've learned a lot about how the community of Catholics works in Pakistan and how much you're contributing to our country, and we thank you for that. Thank you again.
I also thank PTV, and especially I thank you for being here, and it's my pleasure to be with you all today.
Right,
Thank
likewise, my pleasure as well. And that brings us to the end of our program. And at the end of the program, I'd like to add that as we've spoken to His Excellency and we've learned that religions have more in common than what we have amongst us that's different. So what's important is to bind ourselves through what we have in common and interact more at every level, in happy occasions, meet each other more, interact with each other more, and that will bring about a more peaceful Pakistan which can prosper and progress further. Thank you very much for joining us on our program today. That's all for now, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.